A major update in the criminal case stemming from the Flint water crisis.
A judge over in Genesee County has dismissed all charges against 7 of the people who were indicted. Our Michael Martin has the latest.
Jamie, Josh, these dismissals today, they come down to how a special prosecutor who was appointed by the Attorney General's office chose to go about indicting these defendants. They used what's called a one-man grand jury, but in June, the Michigan State Supreme Court ruled that one-man grand juries are not allowed to issue indictments. That prompting the judge in this case to say the charges, brought the way they were, are simply invalid.
It's been a long and arduous fight.
On Tuesday, 7th Circuit Court Judge Elizabeth Kelly issued this order dismissing charges against 7 people tied to Flint's water crisis.
The government has acted in a way that I've never seen in many years of practice.
While charges initially filed against some of these individuals were dismissed in June 2019, they were refiled in 2021. But the special prosecutor appointed by the Attorney General's office to do so decided to use what's called a one-man grand jury.
The Michigan Supreme Court has ruled that the one-man grand jury indictments are invalid.
In June, they issued an order saying one-man grand juries cannot issue indictments, prompting this 7th Circuit judge to determine the charges were invalid and needed to be dismissed.
It's going to be really hard to undo, 7 years of misinformation that's affected a young man's career and will for quite some time.
Charges were dismissed against former director of Michigan's Department of Health and Human Services, Nicholas Lyon, former senior advisor to Governor Snyder, Richard Baird, Flint's former city manager, Darnell Early, and 4 others.
It's a sad thing that what happened, but to make someone criminally responsible for exercising their best judgment under difficult circumstances is not the answer to these problems.
The charges were dismissed without prejudice, which means the state could choose to once again refile charges.
Well, the hope is this is where it ends. We've contacted them several times, asking to meet with them, and they just won't, for whatever reason.
The government seems to be relentless in its pursuit of the individuals in this case without a justification. And at some point, this has to stop. And I would suggest that now is the time.
So it is possible that these folks could face charges once again related to the water crisis. The Attorney General's office would be the ones that would have to pursue that, and they'd have to pursue an avenue other than a one-man grand jury to do so. Now, the Flint criminal prosecution did put out a statement about an hour ago. Put it up there. It reads, in part, despite the prosecution's tireless pursuit of justice for the victims of the water crisis, the courts have once again sided in favor of well-connected, wealthy individuals with political power and influence instead of families and children of Flint. It went on to say the prosecution has pledged to exhaust all available legal options to pursue this case, and that pledge remains. The team will review today's ruling and continue its pursuit of justice for Flint. Now, there was more to that statement. You can read the full thing on fox17online.com. For now, though, in the newsroom, Michael Martin, Fox 17.
And it's also important to note that former Governor Rick Snyder still faces misdemeanor charges for his role in the water crisis, as his case is being handled by a different court. Snyder's charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of willful neglect of duty, and we'll keep you updated as that case continues.